a product of the system myself.
Wait, do we have a countdown?
My lord.
Here we go.
Here we are. Starting off round 1 here, we see armor coming out from most of the terrorist players. We see Hip with the infamous Deagle. We've seen so many scrims so far. Let's see what he gets done with that. No armor on him, won't be raid bossing it, but we will have a little bit of utility. 3 flashbangs and 2 decoys overall. We will see that decoys do come into play sometimes. We did see a match from Cloud9 or Team Liquid the other day where a player did get killed by a decoy, so that can happen. Not very
Absolutely. And yep, here we go. This is the long pressure I'm talking about. That is a close angle to be playing from SRM. Gets instantly taken out by Kai. Fantastic entry work, and you see some players maybe already flirting with going back towards the B site. Yep, here we go. Heavy rotation from the C players. There's 4 people outside of connector, and the terrorists.
Already with the B site control.
It is up to Enfo. Oh, he knows these headshot angles so well with that Deagle. He's going to be playing with them. They only have 1 player on the B bomb site. This has got to be a massacre. Will playing the rock position, gets picked up by Skull instantly from the peak room, and the bomb is going down.
What a beautiful fake round 1 from iNTACT eSports. That's the round they've been practicing. We've seen that from them in the scrims. This is what we were looking for. Perfect execution. Great timing on the flashes from Imperius, selling the fake perfectly, and Enfo with the Deagle, pushing up on the A long, baiting out the shots, not getting picked himself, and now he's rotated back over to the B bomb site. This should be easy trades for iNTACT. Nice crossfire from VicX and Imperius to close out the round. First round won.
Nothing to see here. Easy pistol cleanup. All the hard work was done in the front end of the round, faking the counter-terrorists out with that A pressure. I mean, I love the Deagle pickup from Enfo, even though this is an open qualifier. Like, this is a game that actually matters. Like, they're trying to make it through this bracket. Still has the confidence to pick up the Deagle on a T-side pistol round. That's just awesome.
And we do have head armor coming out from a couple of players on TwistedSin eSports. Let's see if the MAC-10 players have a problem with that. That can come into play, definitely with the MAC-10, because it isn't strong against armor. It doesn't one-shot in the head when they have that head armor. However, 3 players on the counter-terrorist side not having head armor themselves, and now we see iNTACT eSports toward the B bomb site, just kind of playing on the outside, looking for any aggression coming out from TwistedSin.
This is not the time to make mistakes. This is not the time to push around a close angle without a flashbang. These pistols are lethal. Most of them will 1 or 2 shot if you get that tap in the head. So we're seeing a little bit slow rotations here. Players even moving as far as T-spawn. Not really sure what that pop flash was designed to do. Maybe to fake a little B pressure to keep players there, because it does look like Skull and another teammate, I believe is VicX, are running up the danger position. They're going to be largely uncontested on the A site. There aren't even players in connector to help them. Can they find the lone man?
Pre-fires coming out from Skull, taken down by SRM close with the CZ, but that's going to be traded out by VicX for sure. There's the headshot. Hip rotating down through the lower. There's going to be the excuse me, A-site take. Smoke coming out through the door, but Charybdis on the flank. Let's see if he can do anything coming back on this eco round. But Hip with the nice turnaround, expects the flank early. Will with the Deagle. Can he get anything done from the vent room?
These 3 players are kind of stuck in the connector areas. They were here so much earlier than the terrorists, but they were too scared to peek out into these heavily armed opponents. And there's the mop up. There it is. That's your anti-eco round from iNTACT eSports. Masterfully played. They were able to get themselves a massive advantage and control over the A site just by faking a little bit of pressure towards B, maybe catching out TwistedSin on their gamble stack. They seem to have 4 players very comfortably committed towards the B site. So they opt to keep their MAC-10s, and of course, TwistedSin is on an even worse buy than last time. They are going to be saving up to get into a gun round here, looking to farm money on those MAC-10s, and probably a pretty simple in-and-out round from iNTACT here.
Yeah, at this point, you're really looking toward the next round. If you're in TwistedSin's spot, you're looking toward what are we going to do on the next gun round, and right now, that's probably what their IGL is going over as they hold their positions, waiting for iNTACT to push into them. These close angles are what they're looking for on these pistols.
P250s don't one-shot in the head anymore at any distance, which does have a huge impact. VicX, right around the corner. Kai is able to pick off 1, 2 coming out of the broken wall. This should be an easy B site take here. The last 3 CTs are towards A. The bomb's still back in halls, but they have control of the site. And this just looks like just search and destroy coming out from the terrorist side.
And rest of the CT players toward that A site, they're hopefully not looking to save too much in this round. They're probably going to go for a couple of exits. SRM pushing through the lower. Able to find one really nice headshot onto Imperius there. He might be able to save that ump. That might be big for him next round. Charybdis maybe looking to push through, get a couple of exit kills himself.
Actually, if I'm SRM, I might even try and kill more players with this, because I'm assuming he's going to be able to buy a rifle next round. So having the ump when you can afford a rifle, maybe the economic gain isn't worth it. And he is kind of taking some aggressive positions. Vic maybe knows that there might be players in this position. He's going to spot the head. He does. Flicks to it. Takes him down with the MAC-10. That's the last ump. There's one more player with the P250 who was summarily destroyed in a Dragon Room.
Beautiful round coming out there from iNTACT. Great patience from them. You didn't see any hefty pushes coming out from either side, even if you're without any flashes, even though they have the gun advantage. And now we move into a bit of a gun round. We still have the MP9 coming out from AWOL, but he does have heavy utility. You see the incendiary, we see the HE. No smoke from him, but good utility from the CT side, and that's important on this round. They do have the money for that.
This looks like it might be a fast play coming out from iNTACT. There are five players coming out of the B long positions. They're already jumping out through the smoke. They have sight control. The counter-terrorists are not in great positions, although Charybdis might have the ability to go huge on tree. There are players playing close to the smoke. A little bit of spray coming through from the terrorist side. And who is going to find the opening pick? All 10 players still alive. AWOL gets instantly traded up on Plat. Tons of fighting going on by the statue positions. There are already flanks coming from the counter-terrorists as well. It's a 1v3 for Imperius, and he gets traded.
Wow. Nice cleanup coming in from TwistedSin. We really didn't expect that as we saw the bomb go down with all 5 players alive on iNTACT. TwistedSin kind of locked out from the bomb plant. We saw one come from the flank, get traded immediately. Really thought the advantage was to iNTACT there, but really nice job by TwistedSin, Charybdis, and Aaron coming out in the end victorious.
I thought it was amazing how long there were 10 players alive in that round. The bomb went down, and you still had 10 players alive. And it just worked out that TwistedSin was able to find the picks, find the trades in a little bit of a favorable fashion. But a great round from iNTACT. You see they have a fantastic full buy, full utility, and an AWP going into this round because they did get the bomb plant, and they were coasting off of that MAC-10 money. But let's see what their default is going to be. They do have some pretty aggressive info. He is far out on Plat looking for a pick with this AWP. I'm looking for him to get flashed in and find an angle. But the TwistedSin players are very far back. Nobody playing Statue or Coop or any of the Plat angles. And maybe iNTACT is wise to this, and they are starting to back up.
Great job from TwistedSin shutting down that early aggression from iNTACT with the flashbangs, the smoke, the Molotovs. Really great use of utility there. They still have quite a bit left to work with only about a minute going into the rest of the round. And now, iNTACT may be making the decision to work back toward the B bomb side again. Not really much pressure toward the A site.
They have VicX watching for A aggression. He hasn't seen anything. They know this. It looks like it's going to be a 4-on-4 brawl for control of the B site. But wait, there's another player going towards A.
There's a rotation.
iNTACT is down to 50 seconds, and the counter-terrorists have been spreading out, which is what you want to see if you're iNTACT, is counter-terrorists spread more throughout the map. Once again, there is more utility on the iNTACT side. They also have the AWP. They have a great chance at being able to take a site in this round. And with 30 seconds, it looks like it's going to have to be the B site. We're going to see some drop control coming in here. It's a flash over. We have players creeping up Plat. But the bomb, last second bomb rotate towards A. Don't pay any attention to what's going on at B. You see these 2 players pushing up lower ramp. They have no time. They need to sprint and get these kills. This is a mad dash.
But A-Run, nice headshot coming in from him. VicX able to pick up one on site, but we do have the rotation.
They've done it.
Door. VicX through the smoke picks up one. They do have time to plant the bomb. Sees one at Juliet. Able to pick one more toward the door. One at APC. And wow, 3 quick kills coming in from iNTACT. Enfo and Imperius chiming in there at the end.
All 3 of the last players on iNTACT alive, making 1 frag. Excellent watching all of the angles, not missing anything. I mean, they had to clear a player out of cannons and I believe Julie in like 17 seconds, and they managed to do it, get the bomb down with only a second or 2 to spare on the timer. That was a fantastic execution from iNTACT. I mean, that was a very, very mature play for them to commit to something that late in the round and get it done.
The rotation came in so late. Phenomenal play from iNTACT. You're not used to seeing that at intermediate level. This is something you expect to see at DreamHack. This is something that you expect to see at this level. And now, A run through the smoke. Gets Imperius immediately traded out by VicX. Good job from them, having the buddy system. Immediate advantage to the terrorist side. We still have the MAC-10 on Kai. He might be able to get a little bit of economy advantage out of that.
I may disagree with you a little bit here. I think on these eco rounds that a 4v4 may actually favor the counter-terrorists. Unfortunately, that advantage is just slimmed as AWOL has gotten picked up by Enfo towards the plat area. Terrorists are pretty close to some counter-terrorists over on the A side. There's a cat and mouse game coming out in the lower. Oh, it looks like he was trying to find the player through a smoke. I believe he knows he's there. Here comes the spam and the spray whiffing, and both players are going to retreat and maybe find a place to cry away the pain.
Yeah,
of whiffing.
Just retreat back
like
to
that.
lower, reset, and now we're just gonna push out B, guys. That's what they decided. We whiffed all our shots on A. We're just gonna go over to B, and they just kind of walk into the site. No contest at all. They're able to get a little bit of utility out toward the B door now, and that's gonna be the easy shutdown for iNTACT right on the eco round.
Now, this might have turned into a very quick flank if they were able to boost the player up, but Kai was up there with the MAC-10 watching that, and they're unable to do so. So all three players are kind of huddled in drop room, trying to make any sort of economic gains that they can make. Enfo going for some cheeky wallbangs. Actually, he gets one. He just picked off SRM.
He just I mean, he knows they're all in there. What great presence of mind from him to just be spamming that.
Well, it's fish in a barrel.
Yeah, literally. I mean, they have nowhere to run unless they've already exited, so why not?
Fish in a barrel is only slightly more well known than the adage counter terrorists in the drop room.
Yeah, slightly more.
Just slightly.
But we do move into round 7 now, and iNTACT with a 5-1 advantage. Great economy coming out from them. They'll have no trouble buying for quite a few rounds in a row. Oh, actually, a couple players a little low that have died a few times. However, we do have VicX sitting around the 9,000 mark. And we see the counter-terrorists on their back feet. Only one M4.
What is this buy coming out from the CTs? I guess SRM, he bought down. Is this a miscommunication?
I think this might have been a miscommunication here from TwistedSin eSports. It seems like SRM has the full buy while the rest of the team is back on the eco. And Will, having the armor MAC-10, it looks like maybe one of them would have called to buy behind it and the rest of the team not on the same page.
Economic mistakes can definitely hurt you going forward. If SRM has to play in a 1v2 situation with a worse gun in the following rounds, this could have a serious impact on the rest of the game. And after that hard reset coming in after their first defuse, iNTACT looking to solidify their control of this T-half. Certainly you think they're going to be able to pull out 8.
And heavy aggression here toward A. All of the players of iNTACT up toward the A site. 2 towards danger, 2 toward the lower ramp.
We're just waiting for contact to come out. We're waiting for blood.
Here's the fast flank from TwistedSin.
Oh my. Yeah, we have 2 players in Snake. But Imperius will be checking these angles. VicX is watching behind. I think they almost baited them into this rotation by just holding on slope and waiting for the CT players to get uncomfortable enough that they started pushing out. They know the CTs don't have very much money. And what does that M4 do you in that round? I don't even think that iNTACT lost a single man.
No, they didn't lose one person, and now their economy is booming. They're looking like the United States in the 90s. Now we're sitting here, we're going through a great transition period for iNTACT, but we see the one player back on the CZ. That's going to be the big deal from SRM, buying in the last round. He only has a couple of nades to work with.
Now where is he holding? Okay, so SRM is going to be holding down the lower position with that CZ. I hate the British people for making me call it a CZ, by the way.
I know, man. It flows though. I really like it actually. Yeah. I'm a big fan now. Yeah. I used to hate it. Big fan now. But we have the boost up toward the drop room. These players,
they must have heard something. They are so aware of it. They're spending utility just to try and push him out of that position. Yep, they knew he was up there. And AWOL will get a 56 damage spanking as he is sent running back to the drop room.
And great clear there by iNTACT, recognizing that drop room is such a huge point of contention here at the cobblestone, because that drop room gives you so many options, whether you go to the A site, whether you go to the B site. It'll give you the pinch that you're looking for and in order to get those counter terrorists on the back foot. And right now, out through the B platform, Kai, Imperius, Cribdis comes in with 1. That's toward the drop room, I believe. Skull, out through the drop, picks up Cribdis on his own. 1 back toward the rock, is able to find 2. That's a great round from Skull and SRM, the only one left on the flank on the CZ. And this is where the economy is going to plays such a big part, because if he has an M4, he has a huge chance to win this round.
This is a winnable round for SRM. He's going to catch the planter out, and the other player is on low health. But VicX able to dodge the bullets like Neo from the Matrix and find the headshot into SRM. If SRM was able to get that kill on VicX, not only would the bomb not be down, but the other player would have only had 12 HP. That is a massive mistake. He needs to be making those shots to really hit iNTACT where it hurts. But iNTACT instead are able to skate out of danger into a 7th round on the terrorist side. The lost round bonus is building for TwistedSin. They will certainly have a fantastic buy in the next round, but this looks like most likely that iNTACT will be going up to 8 here.
Yeah, and we haven't seen TwistedSin be great on these economy rounds so far. We've seen them be punished on the aggression. We've seen them be punished on the hold. iNTACT seems to have the read on them. They seem to have the number of TwistedSin eSports.
And A-Run able to pick up a nasty P250 kill and get away with the gun. Bombs dropped in Snake, and there are a couple players right here, right next to... And there goes another pick. How's this happening? iNTACT is now... There goes another one. They're in a 2v5. They haven't dealt a single point of damage to any CT players.
And this has been the run and gun here from TwistedSin. A little bit of guerrilla warfare, just the in and out, backing off as they get one pick, and VicX finally able to answer with one of his own, but Enfo on low HP, and Will pushing through the B halls. He's going to find one of his own, and now the one player left alive for iNTACT is VicX. And can he get one more? I don't think he'll be winning the round, but he might be able to find a little bit more damage. But Charybdis, great damage with the CZ. He's not able to close anything out, VicX. And now, economy is still good for iNTACT. They're able to buy again into the next round.
Yeah, they do have plenty of money, but that is a massive mistake. Not only do you give them a free round that they should never win, but, I mean, that's the economic foothold they need to come back into this. The only upside you can see in this is if iNTACT win this round, it is another hard reset for Twisted. But Twisted winning that round will be able to buy into the next round, as most of their players are closer to 4,000 than not. So we see some fast flat aggression here from Enfo. Turning into Molly. Kai is fully flashed. Fantastic no-scope coming out from Kai. Close range opping and pressure to open up this B site. We do have a player out by the statue position already. But Aaron catches another iNTACT player out and drop, and we need Enfo to go big in this round and pick up a 3rd and maybe a 4th. They need to cross with the bomb to site. Will they find the counter-terrorist players?
Trying to find one through the smoke. They aren't pushing any through for the flank. And iNTACT, not even trying to pay much attention to the flank. Enfo finds another on the AK. He switched out from the op. That's a big transition from him to find control of the sidewalk with the AK. Tries to push through the smoke. And VicX, pushing through the smoke, gets the trades. My God! VicX with the double kill. The spray transfer. What a play.
This is an NACS masterpiece here. Not only do you push one player through a smoke who instantly gets fragged, you push a second player through. They're not expecting it. They both get fragged. Let's go. We see some Stewie 2K action coming out here. VicX Asian. VicX is actually Asian as well.
Yeah,
maybe he must know Stewie 2K.
Yeah,
then.
I think that's the smoke pushing masters. It seems to be the way it goes. And wow. I can't believe he finds both kills after coming through the smoke, and now we see VicX playing a bit more passive role, finding the lower A. Not able to convert the kill, but does see the player push up toward danger. They get a little bit of information.
And look at this money on Twisted right now. They are fully reset. They do have 4 rifles, but they have almost no utility, and they have SRM on the CZ again, which, I mean, this could be a nightmare for them. Going on to an eco with only bare bones losing bonus. This is solid T-side control from iNTACT. 1 round mistake, but Twisted are looking at an uphill battle still if they are going to come out of this half looking any better than they are right now. Will Imperius get caught by the timing? He will. He has the grenade out trying to flash into lower. The player pushes long. That is classic CSGO for you.
And we see SRM back on the CZ. Not much armor coming out from the CT side. Not much economy. But they do make it work with only a few flashes. They've been great so far with their low economy. Just a couple of flashes, an early aggressive push, and now you find yourself up 5 versus 3.
And it's an interesting thing when you see a counter-terrorist clearing an angle with a flashbang and catching a terrorist off guard. That's almost what the terrorists should be doing in a round like this, especially with their lower utility. But all terrorist players... There's a trade coming in. There's only one more player that has to deal with an A, but he's able to fight back with the CZ on lower slope. Can Kai find him? Kai finds him. He's going to have heavy pressure coming in. Are the counter-terrorists going to let him get the bomb down, however? And let's see how the post-plant situation goes. This is a steep clutch that needs to come in from Kai.
No players toward the Juliet position. They have everybody grouped up behind APC. This is a very steep read from Kai. He's not going to expect all of the players to be grouped up in such a fashion. Ooh. Coming through the telephone pole. Great shot there from A-Run to find him through that pole, and Defuse comes in plenty of time. That'll be a third round to TwistedSin.
Yeah, I mean, that was almost an impossible situation. They did get the bomb down, so that is an economic benefit to them. But that 3v5 and still not even on a bomb site, that is a tall order for any terrorist team with any amount of equipment.
But they do get the plant, and that will follow them into the next round. They'll be able to get the buyout, I think. They are going to take the pause, and I think this is where they're going to decide. Are we going to commit to the buy? What are we going to do in the next round? They do have a few more rounds to work with. We have 4 more rounds left in the half.
I would really love to see Enfo pick up the AWP. I think the force buy isn't a bad situation here. Maybe go with some lighter buys and some umps. Really get those players pushed out into positions. Maybe take some A site control quickly, and then have Enfo anchoring with the AWP to watch those rotating players. But they are going to be up against full utility. So anything they do is going to be met with heavy resistance from the counter-terrorist nades.
What a mature pause coming out from iNTACT eSports. Even though they've only lost 3 rounds, we still see them take the pause after they feel like they've crumbled a little bit in momentum. You see them take, a loss, then they take a win, another loss in a row. Maybe they're not feeling that so much. Maybe Imperius says, hey, let's take a pause, reset mentally, let's decide on a nice strat for the next round, catch these guys off guard, and let's keep our momentum rolling for the next 4 rounds.
Looks like the buy from iNTACT is going to be players dropping, the players with a lot of money dropping AKs for those that don't, and they do get a fair amount of utility. So I do like this style as well. Certainly can work out for them. They're developing a default where they are trying to apply pressure on both sides of the map. The B player is making some noise, but Charybdis is boosted up with the AWP, and he's going to be... They have 3 CT players towards plat control. This is an ideal situation. The terrorists are going to be able to take the A bomb site basically for free.
And VicX comes in with a great trade there. That's what you're looking for. Basic terrorist play coming out from iNTACT. Great site control, recognizing that there was only the one player holding the A site. And now the rotations have to come in from TwistedSin, but so much utility still left on the side of iNTACT. They're going to be able to hold that door. They're going to have the flashes to control Juliet. And how does TwistedSin come up with this retake?
So Skull's late position in the drop room means that the counter-terrorists could not flank. So they are all going to be funneled through these connector positions. There's a couple flashbangs on each side. iNTACT need to use these to get some trades. SRM coming out on top of the first. AWOL. There's a trade coming in.
And now 2 players toward the lower A platform, and now no vision toward that. But VicX finding all of them, and Skull chiming in with one as well. And both players staying alive from iNTACT. No trades coming out from TwistedSin, and that's a little bit of a mistake. You want to see those trades coming in from the counter-terrorist side, especially when you're at the man advantage, but not even one coming in for them. And that is how iNTACT takes that round nice and easy toward the end. Wow.
That's a classic post-plant from iNTACT. One more time, that Skull play in drop room where he let them know he was still there and they prevented them from flanking was huge, because 4 CT players trying to come through the connector door and Juliet is so hard to do, and where all the players are going to be. And Kai,
nice
an excellent shot, and VicX picking up some of these early CT aggressions. There's another CT player pushed up very far and be long. Almost make that 2, but certainly Info won't get picked off. Counter-terrorists are able to smoke him out of his position. That's an AWP picked up for Charybdis, who I believe is the opper for Twisted. That is kind of a big misplay. I almost would have wished he just tried to jump through the smoke and get away instead of trying to fight that at all, but c'est la vie. And
now we see iNTACT moving a little bit toward the A site. Couple of players still toward the B, but Imperius seeing what he can find toward the A. Bomb making its way a little bit over toward this side. Players toward lower A. We're going to see the entry here soon. VicX maybe going to be taking the front line, but AWOL, he has a lot of information for the counter-terrorist side. He's pushed all the way up through through drop room, and he's going to find an easy kill onto Skull, but Skull able to find one himself. That's an interesting misplay from the counter-terrorist side when they know one is in the drop room, and still they take the fight from E-Box before he has the flank from drop, and that's going to cost them the round almost certainly. The entire side is shut off by iNTACT. And now, maybe just looking to save these last couple guns.
In my mind, this is a win for Twisted. You buy PG-50s into a round, and you come out with an AWP and an AK.
Certainly.
Like half armor on one of your players is like, this is a fantastic round for them. This is going to give them such a big boost going on to the game. They're definitely going to be able to pick up a couple rifles in rounds that happen later on as we try and close out this first half. iNTACT is definitely in a fantastic position.
Wow, VicX on 19 kills. He's been going huge this game. So many headshots so far. Only 3 deaths on the terrorist side. He's only died on the rounds that they've lost.
That's probably absolutely the case.
I think that's true now that I'm thinking about it. I think he's only died on the 3 rounds that they've lost.
That's fantastic to have players, going big in these games, stepping up, and really taking the lead on your T side. We've seen him make entries. He likes to lurk around the A side and watch CT aggression, and he's been punishing them for doing so as well. And like I said, the counter-terrorist economy looking pretty good. They have a full rifle buy, quite a bit of utility on their side as well, and the AWP against a no AWP for iNTACT, but this looks like the fast B play that we know the terrorist side so well for. Yep, here we go. Players are already out of plat. There are 4 players to greet them on the B site. Aaron picks up 2 quick ones, spraying through the smoke in lane. SRM chimes in on info. VicX, will he find the player? He does not. AWOL leaves 1 terrorist player remaining. Imperious does pick up 1, but this is now a 1v3. He does have the bomb. Frag grenade.
And does he choose to go over to the A site, or does he choose to fake back toward the B? AWOL has good control here. He can see the entire B plat peeking out from around that statue, and Imperious maybe looking to go for a drop, maybe looking to take the 1v1 for a player toward the drop room.
He's going to find Aaron here. Or Aaron, rather, is going to find him with the headshot on the M4. And that'll be the round. That's a 4th for TwistedSin. So they are going to have full economy into this one. And actually, iNTACT, their economy is not looking that great. Despite having won so many rounds in the half, these resets back and forth have really taken a toll on them economically. Only 2 bomb plants in the last 4 rounds. And you see they're on a kind of shattered buy. Let's see what they choose to do with it going into the final round of this half. Surely this danger player is in trouble.
And now all the players moving toward the A site. Skull with the nice headshot onto Will, and now that's site control, knowing that they only have 1 player still on the A site. This has been so popular for iNTACT so far. They've just walked into the A site after picking the 1, and now these CT players are forced to push through the smoke. And Enfo, nice headshot on the P250 from him, and Skull on the MAC-10 as well. He's looking toward Juliet. Nice nade out from Charybdis, right out behind the APC. And now we see the 3 versus 2 to iNTACT.
SRM on 9 HP as well. This is a tall order from the counter-terrorist, but the AWP will kill you no matter what health you have. Both players from the CC side incredibly low now. This is the last round of the half, though, so they do need to go for it, and they're wasting valuable time by not getting out to these positions. I think SRM has a rough idea of where Enfo is, but Enfo patiently waiting, making noise. An excellent flash in. There's only 1 player left. Surely Kai can find this player. That's 10 seconds. That's the round time. Kai turns around at the right moment, finds SRM to close out the half. 11-4 for iNTACT eSports. That's a fantastic terrorist side.
For me, it's the change of pace. iNTACT making so many great calls on the change of pace to the A site, the B site. We saw the fast play toward both sides. We saw the slow, nice, tactful play. We saw the late execute in 1 round that we talked about. Such a mature play from them. And that is how you control the counter-terrorist economy from a terrorist perspective. Even losing the worst round that they could have possibly lost on their T side momentum, they still were able to bring it back, took back control, had that timeout, were able to get themselves back into it and take a few key couple rounds toward the end of the half there.
Absolutely, and I think VicX probably made it to 20 by the end of that half. I do want to highlight once more how the terrorists were able to condition the CT economy by that early round where they rotated to the A bomb site with less than 30 seconds to go after having quite a bit of presence towards B, completely catching iNTACT off guard, letting them know that no round is over and the terrorist side has not made a decision until the last seconds of each round. Really forces the CTs to spread out their utility thin and try and make info plays, which it seemed like they were getting punished for more often than not. So we are moving on to iNTACT CT said now. We'll see how Twisted responds to the hefty beating that was levied upon them. by iNTACT's T side.
An interesting play from Imperius coming out toward the drop side there. You see him having the HE ready for any players that might push into the drop room. He's just holding it window. He gets a lot of damage coming out on the players in the drop, but SRM able to find the headshot as they push through the connector. Here's the classic terrorist play, the connector to A, but they do get caught a little bit. Skull able to chime in with one. Will, easy headshot back onto Skull with the trade. 4 versus 3 to the terrorist side, and Will able to get up onto the site with the bomb plant. And A-Run, nice headshot from him. Charybdis on the other side as well. And Enfo, last one alive for iNTACT eSports, and he'll be trapped on the other side of B doors.
And without any armor, he does have a kit he managed to pick up as a flashbang. We need to see him make some moves at some point. He's going to have a lot of players to kill. That is an excellent 1v1 he's managed to work himself. He's now into 1v3, and that kit may make the difference if he's able to kill a couple more terrorist players. He may not be suspecting that he has the kit on him. That is a dink through the door, I believe, coming in. No, that's just no armor. That's right. And there it is. The Glock will finish him off. The no armor eventually being his demise, getting body shotted down by a couple Glock shots.
And SRM not even trying to go for the headshots there, just guns him down in the body, recognizing that he is low after getting hit through the door there. And now, iNTACT with a little bit of a force themselves. Skull able to find enough kills to pick himself up a scout. Now we have Deagles as well. P250s and armor coming out. The defuse kit. This is potential. This is actually a decent eco buy from iNTACT on the second round with the kills that Skull was able to find and being able to pick up that scout.
Kai gets flashed in, going aggressive with the Deagle. Isn't able to find any shots, but neither is he dealt that much damage. And the B aggression has been slowed because the CTs are playing fairly aggressively. Looks like they may opt... Are they already in drop room? Well, no. They're slightly above. Kai, this is another headshot by the narrowest of margins, but the second one finds its mark on SRM. That is a fantastic pickoff from him. Man advantage for the counter-terrorists now, as the terrorists again slow down, hesitating on where they want to go and what they want to do to try and win this round.
But the T's still have good economy to execute. They still have a couple smokes. They still have a couple flashbangs. Certainly they can find something, but the close angles are gonna favor the CT side, with the close pistols as they try to push their way over drop room. Great headshot from AWOL there. Will with the AK trying to spray through the coop to find one. Doesn't quite find any kills. Imperius pushed up close. The terrorists don't see them there. As one comes through the E-box, he'll spot him out. AWOL. Great information play. And now, one left on the counter-terrorist side. AWOL finding Kai. Bomb goes down, and VicX rushing through the smoke. Surely sprayed down by AWOL. Nice textbook round with the execute there after they lost one from TwistedSin, actually. They were able to back off, find their momentum back in the round, able to push one over drop with a good flash, take the momentum back, and push out onto the pinch.
You saw drop control really coming in for them there. We had, I believe it was Kai, or no, it was Imperius sitting underneath B plat, was actually spotted by the player in drop room because they were able to take that control of the area of the map. So his sneaky position was compromised by players not from plat, but from drop. So, and that's why that area of the map is so heavily contested so often. It does give you so many options with taking the B site, taking connector control.
And the read here from iNTACT eSports, they had 4 players toward the A site at the beginning of this round, and now have only pushed 1 back over toward the B site. They're expecting the heavy A push.
The terrorists are being very quiet, though. Shoulder peeking coming in from AWOL. Does get spotted, I believe, by Enfo, who's going to try to make sure he knows what's going on in that long B hallway. The other A players are hoping that someone's got to push out that door. They can get some cheeky headshots with the USP. AWOL finds Enfo, and this might tell the counter-terrorists that there is more going on in B than they are believing. Will Skull be able to find some headshots with the USP? He's against an SMG. This is a very hard battle for him to fight without armor and such an inferior weapon. He has another player helping him from up on slope. Will able to find VicX. Charybdis finds Skull. And AWOL jumping through the window. This is solid control from Twisted eSports in this round as they go up to 7.
Really nice spread from them, able to find nice kills on their SMGs. That's going to be a big economy boost for them. They're going to have a lot of nades going into the next round. You see one player on 8,000, one player on 5,000, one closer to 7. This is big for them because iNTACT has to buy all the way down, and now they have a great opportunity to control the economy of iNTACT.
Absolutely. This is the exact opposite of the first half so far. We're seeing Twisted fighting back into it with some heavy economic control over the game, building that bank, keeping the counter-terrorists slim. We need to see iNTACT really step up and make some plays at some point if they want to start winning these rounds. And Kai, I think, is trying to do that. He's being very aggressive towards Plat. We see A-Run up here above the drop room, trying to levy some utility down there to gain the map control. There's the flash, and there's the players over the drop room.
So many flashes coming in from both teams. iNTACT able to slow down the push onto Plat with so many flashes coming up. Kai finding one, A-Run able to trade Skull out. Kai another on SRM. Maybe a third from him. No, trades Imperius comes out on A-Run. Will able to trade out Kai as well. That's a few for A-Run and Will, and now we find Will in the 1v1 with VicX and Imperius on the CT side.
These players have smokes on the counter-terrorist side. They may not be too useful yet, and I like what they're doing. They're playing together. I think they have an idea of where this player is, perhaps. This is going to come down to a huge matter of timing. Who sees him first? The CT players are too split up. They're not going to be able to trade. Will flicks on to Imperius. VicX is left in a 1v2. He knows there might be a player here. Player spotted, exchanging shots. Now who is going to win the battle? Surely Vic is. Will was lit down to 40 HP, but Vic hits him in the head anyway, cementing that round for iNTACT. That is 12 for them, and that is a huge deal because they were going to be very rough on the economical side of things moving on to this half. And of course, Twisted will be able to buy, and iNTACT's buy is not going to be solid, but they do get one round closer to that 16.
And this is always the most stressful round, is the CT, after you've come out losing a lot of players on that first gun round. And now you see that they have almost no gunpowder to work with in comparison to the AK. You're on an MP9, you're on a FAMAS, you're on 2 UMPs. Only one AK coming out for the counter-terrorist side, but they still have to pull out this win, otherwise they will get reset. And this is such a monstrous round for them to overcome against TwistedSin and their full eco buy.
And this is something we haven't seen from Twisted yet. This creeping long A aggression here. There's a smoke very aggressively. Vic almost gets picked off through the smoke. There are two players on the other side of that. Will doing some fantastic spraying there, catching the counter-terrorists off guard and doing a lot of damage to them. But they now know that there are players towards A long.
And the B aggression toward the counter-terrorists must come in soon. You have one up toward Plat. They need to get a little bit more information than what they have now. They have a little bit of a disadvantage. Their economy is looking low now. They're almost off of nades, and now they're only going to be able to rely on their guns, and that's not the matchup that you want to take.
Yeah, and the bomb is moving towards the A side with 40 seconds left in the round. The counter-terrorists do have a Molotov yet. This could be huge for them if they're able to put that in a position. And here it goes. This is slowing down the time. This is what you want to see. 30 seconds left, and you have players bottlenecked behind that Molotov. They are going to have to move very quickly, and in their haste, will they make mistakes? Enfo knows there's a player there. Skull and Enfo with frags. SRM finding one, finding two, but Imperius is going to trade him out. It is a 2v2. Counter-terrorist stuck behind the smoke and one in connector.
But they have to get the bomb down. And now, in the 2v2, Charybdis with a nice headshot onto Imperius. He's pushed up close. Kai behind the APC. Let's see what he can find. Tries to get the player jumping over the little ridge there. But now, maybe trying to find his way up toward Juliet. But both of the players backing off toward Long and the A ramp.
This is going to be so hard for Kai to win. They're playing such dirty angles where they are going to be able to pick at him all day as he moves towards the bomb. And of course, as I have spoken and foretold, he is unable to make a move. So we see the hard reset coming in from iNTACT. That's not what you want to see. They did have a low buy going into this round. It's definitely a round that they could have lost. They were against a full terrorist arsenal, but they get reset. And this surely is going to be Twisted moving up into double digits here.
And now we see all of the counter-terrorists buying a little bit of something. A couple of players on the USPs actually, but we do have a couple of P250s and a Deagle to work with. One smoke as well. We'll see what we do with that. However, almost all of the players toward the B side, only one toward the A, and they have a little bit of aggression up toward the A long for the information, so they do know that most of the players from TwistedSin are on the B site.
I like this play from the counter-terrorists, grouping up with those USPs, trying to make them more effective by getting consecutive second and third shots from different teammates onto a player and killing them quickly. If they get mollied out or fragged from that position, though, they are going to take a lot of damage. Very slow round coming out from Twisted here, not willing to make mistakes against the economics. Of course, AWOL gets two. Imperius does manage to trade him, but Will instantly kills Imperius as well. This looks like B-side control for the terrorists. The bomb almost getting caught out by timing and VicX on the flank. Skull able to find him with the P250, causing havoc on the site. And the bomb, if it goes down at the wrong time, oh, that's a smart plant. They know the player might be there. VicX, fantastic one. He has another player in lane. He might be able to catch out. But the terrorists are smarter than this. They have managed to group up and get back to new angles. And VicX, now with no armor and an AK, has to try and clutch a 1v2. There's the smoke coming out from him. He did have that in the round. But he loses the duel to SRM at long range. Probably something to do with aim punch there as well. Not having armor to that makes that clutch almost impossible. Twisted moving up to 9. And do iNTACT decide to force here?
I think that they won't. I think that they'll do the nice smart buy. Yeah, Deagle coming out from Kai. Nice no head armor, P250s. We're going to keep not buying for just another round. Have a nice slow incline for momentum here on another gun round. Maybe take an extra timeout. We'll see if that comes out. That's probably what I would do to try to shut down the terrorist momentum right now.
Those are all fair and well ideas. Do the terrorists know that Kai has snuck up close to Deagle? This other player, oh, that could have worked out in their favor more. There were a couple frags coming in there. SRM, though, able to spray down 2 of those players towards long. The bomb's still near spawn, so you can see Twisted expecting to get kills in this round. Throwing away guns, preventing the counter-terrorists from retrieving them later in the round. I don't think Charybdis knows that he spotted him. But Imperius still manages to pick up the kill. That B-hop knife out just barely spotted the player, backs up and resets, and then still loses. AK versus P250. But Imperius did have half armor, and it looks like that may have saved his life there. Terrorist players moving up towards A. Whoa, SRM has an excellent flank position. He's able to find Skull with the cannons. And surely he's going to get Imperius as well. Whoa, nice flick onto the head of Imperius for SRM. SRM, I mean, it seems like, how many kills is he on? 17. He's been doing very well. I've seen him make a lot of excellent shots and spray downs in this game so far.
Yeah, he is going big for them in the second half. He's been the control of their T side. He's had a lot of great entries. He's always in the position to get traded by Will. They've been great together so far. They've been the 2 to entry into the B site together, be the ones to take the control, and together they've been a great force here on the terrorist side for Twisted.
Now, how do iNTACT try and close out this game? They're on the CT side, where it can be hard to make play sometimes. A-Run already out in lane. The terrorists have 2 down. There's one more player, Enfo, behind sight with the AWP. He needs to go huge for his team. Skull doesn't know there's still a player above drop. Bomb goes down. Enfo still in sight. Gets found by another terrorist player. This is a 5v1 for VicX with the AWP. He's not able to save it. Will with a couple kills in the round. That is just a massacre.
There's absolute destruction coming out from TwistedSin, recognizing that the fast play might catch them off guard, and iNTACT needs to find an answer immediately, otherwise they're going to get shut out of this game. The tie is probably going to come in right now, and this is the time to get your head back in the game.
Yeah, and that was a full buy from iNTACT. You can see the reset puts them on 3K. They're opting to save. They're going to have a great buy next round with their max round losing bonus if they do lose this round. They do have 5.7s and some P250s. Let's see if they're able to find some cheeky kills. But Twisted has not been allowing themselves to get eco'd, so I highly doubt. Sees the shoulder. Yep. Spams through the door. Almost kills a player. This is a textbook spray down. Did Imperius gets into Snake? I'm not sure. The terrorists seem to know that he is there. Oh, this is good night.
Good night, sweet prince.
Good night, sweet
Falls
prince.
to the nade. Kai chimes in with 1 on the 5-7 though. Headshot onto SRM. AWOL up the A ramp. Finds the smoke, and surely the bomb will go down. And with only 2 left, going to be a tough order here for iNTACT to come back into this round.
No, they need to save this AK, but it will probably not happen. Kai does find the headshot with his 5.7, able to carry that gun a little bit further into the round. They need every little scrap of economy they can if they want to be able to close out this half. The terrorists have all the momentum in economy right now. We see several players going to be topping 10,000 after this round.
And Twisted pushing into the halls here. Kai's going to find another. That's 3 for him this round. Big damage from Kai here, finding so many headshots. And of course, able to pick up an AK for his troubles. He's going to back off a little bit toward the drop room. And now, TwistedSin trying to hunt him, trying everything they can to limit the economy of iNTACT. This is going to be massive as we move into the final rounds here, pushing into round 25. Coming down to the wire here. DreamHack Open Denver.
They don't check the peak room, though, so Kai is able to save that AK. And every little scrap of economy that iNTACT can get, they are going to need to be able to start gaining some momentum in this half. This has been a massive comeback from Twisted. We can see how sometimes if your T side gets going, it is so easy to control counter-terrorists on this map. There are so many angles in this map that are hard to hold without full utility, without the right gun. And there's a fast B play coming in. Catches a player with the nade out. They haven't seen this kind of aggression from Twisted yet. This is a disaster.
And it's just so unfortunate to see the pace switch up come in onto iNTACT when they're just unexpecting of what's going on. Easy headshot from AWOL into the drop room, and only takes a little bit of nade damage. 52 damage onto him. They still have tons of utility. Minute and 20 left in the round. The double op setup still coming out from iNTACT. They're going to have one over toward the A long position. VicX going to be holding that aggressively with the AWP.
And the
everyone
bomb,
else push toward B.
The bomb's coming towards him. We need him to get at least 2 of these players that are going to be pushing through. If he looks down danger, he's going to find this player on the angle. Does not miss the shot. Confirms the kill on Charybdis. And the terrorists have to slow down because they don't know where the rest of the counter-terrorist players are hiding. It looks like the bomb is going to come back to B as a result, but there are 3 players waiting here. This is masterfully done from iNTACT. They have the setup they need to succeed, but will the kills come in? The terrorists take drop room. Kai, that guy, sees the players there. They have Skull right outside as well. Kai gets one. Skull gets killed by a tiny bit of health SRM, and they find 2 players, and they know that Enfo's in Coop, so they spray him down through the wall. This is the absolute worst case for iNTACT here. They had such a good hold, and they had an entry onto the terrorist players pushing into the B site, but it doesn't work out for them.
And great execution coming out from TwistedSin, able to find all of the trades as they come out through the E-box. That was the big deal. Skull missing a big shot, but unfortunately not able to find the low health SRM, only 13 HP left. And now, TwistedSin taking their first lead.
Yeah, first lead of the entire game. That's insane, and this is going to be 6 rounds in a row. Counter-terrorists only having won the first gun round of the half, and then losing every subsequent round. Their loss bonus is enormous, and Kai has quite a big bank. They're able to save the AWP. That player already has armor, so they're going to have a good buy. If you're iNTACT right now, Savage, what are you going to be thinking about doing in this round? I mean, I think we have to see an aggression somewhere to try and work a pick, because these slow defaults, they're getting picked apart.
TwistedSin is playing a very patient default, and iNTACT is kind of falling prey to it every time. You're finding that TwistedSin is getting a pick across the map, one here, one there every round, and that really sets them up for the rest of the round. And they've been doing a great job capitalizing when they have that man advantage, or even when they're even in men. We saw the 4v4 last round coming out. These are the big plays that Twisted is making.
And this must be what they're discussing right now as we're waiting for this pause to conclude. Probably taking a tactical timeout, really sit down, discuss exactly what we're going to buy, what's our strategy moving forward. The Twisted eSports players probably very hungry to get this game going. They have all the momentum. And, I mean, to be fair, iNTACT did get caught out this round. Their drop player got fragged by a player that has not been pushing that spot, just instantly ran up there and caught a player with a nade out. So that kind of aggression every once in a while will just completely catch you off guard. So these slow defaults have been conditioning the CTs, but I almost want to see iNTACT try to play something a little faster, really take away control of the map, maybe even take plat control with an AWP and hold it and don't let it go. But if Vic has the op, I believe he is keeping it, he's probably going to have it towards A. Maybe we're going to see him try and get a peek through doors or out of long to try and turn the tide in this battle. Pause is probably going to be ending fairly soon, now that the counter-terrorist players have decided what they're going to purchase.
And now we see the buy coming in. We're not going to see any skimping here. We are going to be going for the win as far as iNTACT is concerned. Good economy actually coming out. We see a couple of incendiaries. They're going to be able to hold that B platform. Enfo not going to be the one on the op this time. Vic feeling confident. He's at 22 kills. He's had an amazing game so far. He was really the big talker on the terrorist side for iNTACT. One coming in with all of the frags. At one point I remember he had 3 deaths.
Yeah, and we're just unable to make momentum here on the CT side, which can be a huge problem. I mean, the kill spread across the entire game The lowest is 14 and the highest is 22. So all the players actually performing fairly well. These rounds have all been, I mean, the trading has been excellent from both teams, which I love to see. That's just good classic Counter-Strike. But we will see if iNTACT are able to find a way to gain some sort of advantage and claw back this game that it looked like they had in the bag going on the CT side.
And it looks like they have quite the strategy coming out as we move out of the timeout here. Let's go in. Round 26. Full buy coming out from iNTACT. We have the AWP. VicX loves to play toward the A site. Let's see what he does with it. And SRM, he's been big toward the
There it is.
room.
This is what I talked about. The peek out of lower door coming in from VicX. Fantastic job. Looks like the rest of the T players are going to be going fast and flat.
An A run. Great entry again. He's had so many entries onto this B site. AWOL chimes in with one himself around the statue. Enfo holds around the backside of the statue. He's great at this position. We see him play here all the time. Great flash coming in from his team, not able to convert. SRM still up on the B platform. Let's see if he can find any for himself. And now, as things slow down, Charybdis on the backside of the sidewalk.
Those Molotovs were surely designed to get Enfo to move out of that statue spot, but they were either misthrown or just did not spread into his area, and he's able to stay there. So you see a terrorist already looking for the flank as well. They're not sure exactly where all the counter-terrorists are hiding. Enfo still peeking around the statue. This is just a game of cat and mouse.
And he has such a great defensive position. He's so great at running around the statue, finding ways to exploit the positions of the terrorist side for his team, and AWOL comes over drop, recognizing there's no flank coming in. He finds VicX. Enfo chimes in with a trade onto SRM up on the B platform, and now the terrorists can rotate toward the A site. We see the bomb running over, and Enfo tries to go on the fast flank. One toward connector. Bomb still rotating over toward long A. AWOL. He's just holding out, waiting for the push through the Juliet room. If it doesn't come in, they take the long way around, at least one of them. And now we see Skull. He's being extremely patient, waiting for the flank from Enfo.
I don't think this flank is going to catch them off guard. They know that the counter-terrorist players have had a long time, just as long to run around the map as they had. In fact, Skull going to confirm his presence with the smoke. Gets picked off by AWOL, who's sitting up on top from Julie, looking mighty pretty. Enfo on 14 HP. He has full utility. There goes the smoke. There goes the molly. He knows players are in these positions, but if he gets pegged by one bullet, this is all over. He's trying to creep up to the smoke, and AWOL will shut him down. There's just no way for him to claw himself back into that round. And that's Twisted at 14. A hard-fought round. It looked like for a while that the counter-terrorists may have been able to pull that back, but there was an excellent flank that came in from the drop room window into connector that caught Enfo with the AWP off guard in that doorway and just really opened up the round for the terrorists and allowed them to push back towards the A site.
And iNTACT looking like they're going to go for the tie, trying to push this into the overtime. And I think that's a good move as you see that their economy is broken. They're back on the Deagles, back on the Scouts. And now it seems as though it's all fallen apart for them at this point. 14 rounds for TwistedSin. They're wanting to move into map point.
Absolutely. Yeah, they know what they're doing. If they lose this round, they will have a full buy. All their players would be on 6,000, roughly. Let's see if they can make any momentum here. Maybe save any AKs into the next round.
He pushes up through the A long. An Enfo hip. Nice shot as one pushes out toward the B long and SRM over the plat. Or drop, excuse me. He knows one stored E-box.
And SRM trading shots with the player on the other side. I believe that is Kai. Let's see.
Enfo still
Will
on the scout.
Be able to find anyone? He's doing damage to these players. That's 2 tags now for him. Terrorists moving towards A site though. This is a slow game from them. They do not want to lose to these pistols. They're giving full respect to iNTACT, knowing that these players are very skilled with these guns, and if they make mistakes, we'll punish them for it.
And such good positioning coming in from iNTACT with the pistols. They're looking for the nice close angles. Kai's gonna maybe find 2. That's huge from him. Nice headshot on the lineup, and Charybdis pushes through to try to trade, but Enfo coming in with the big one from drop room, and Imperius closes off AWOL. Kai with the last headshot to finish the round. Amazing eco round coming in from iNTACT eSports. That's back momentum to them, at least for 1 round.
We're not even on nuke, and that is nuclear right now. They managed to survive with 4 players that are able to keep armor into the next round. Kai, that flank with the Deagle was fantastic. Able to confirm 2 kills, grabs a gun, gets around the corner, and then ends up picking a 3rd. That is massive. Twisted played almost too slow and allowed themselves to have a CT player who had nothing to lose sneak into their midst.
Fast play coming out from Twisted here as Kai finds one through the smoke, finds two, excuse me. That's actually going to be Enfo chiming in with the op as Kai comes in with the spray down and Imperius goes back to the drop room. Let's see if he can find one on Charybdis, but no, he's not able to find it. Charybdis backs off, able to take a little bit more control, and now the advantage goes to iNTACT. They're on the 5v3, and it seems as though they've had a little bit of a wake up. Double op setup seem to be working out for him. Enfo so strong from that statue position. And of course, we have Skull actually, instead of VicX picking up the AWP.
Yeah.
Does he see the player coming through? SRM, he had to have seen him pass through the doors.
Perhaps he did not. The terrorist players making a little bit of noise towards the A side. Enfo going to be coming in to support his other two teammates on this side of the map. The cannon's position is so very lethal. It's so hard to check. You see oftentimes players getting 2 and 3K spray downs from that area. And he is going to have the opportunity here as these players move towards him. Surely Enfo is going to be able to contact with the op. We have another op on site as well. The terrorist players have no economy, or no utility, rather,
and now
to push out.
Nice, missed the second op shot, able to trade it in, and AWOL gets the trade onto VicX. 2 for him, but Kai able to clean it up through the door. And that's going to be a good round for iNTACT to get more economy on. Get everything rolling. You see a couple characters or a couple people, excuse me, start to be. I'm too used to commentating fighting games, man. A couple of people on the high money, and this is where the economy starts to get rolling for the CTs. You see them having an AK. You want to save as many of those as you can. And now the full buy coming out from TwistedSin as well.
And this is the haymaker.
The 14-14.
The 14-14. Anything. Insert any platitude here that really imparts the gravitas of this round. And we're going to see the terrorists. They do not want to lose this game. They are playing slow. They are not trying to make mistakes. But the counter-terrorists a couple rounds ago were able to punch them on pistols and get back into this game because the terrorists were playing too slowly. This looks like an execute into drop room here. Going to be clearing out some of these angles with utility, taking control over that area of the map. Let's see how iNTACT responds.
And rarely do we get to see all 30 rounds of Counter-Strike coming in. 1 minute left in round 29. As we move in, a little bit of control from TwistedSin into the drop room. They want to take control of this. They know that their success has come by pinching this drop room, going into the B site. They've won almost every round. They've chosen to make that decision and actually establish the control. And Will, holding a nice passive position. And
there
now
are 4 players towards this B site. So surely this drop room, they have not committed to it, and the bomb is moving towards A with 40 seconds left. Does VicX find it? Yes, he does. Takes down Will towards long. The terrorist players begin moving. The rat race is on. Let's see if VicX can find any more as he rotates back to the long position. He's caught with a nade out in his hands. Charybdis able to easily take him down. Skull in the Juliet position. Misses the op shot. Charybdis has 2 now. But Imperius and Enfo chiming in with counter kills. Now we're in the post plant.
Imperius up toward the Juliet. He's able to get over, but A-Run right underneath him takes him out. And A-Run knows there's one more toward the Juliet. Is able to take down Enfo, and now we're in the 1 versus 1, Kai versus A-Run. And Kai knows where A-Run is. Each player knows where the other is. Kai maybe gonna come down to timing. Is able to find the spray down. Beautiful headshot by him. And that's gonna be the defuse. And now map point for iNTACT.
That is the definition of clutch. 14-14, 1 versus 1. Here comes the nods. He's happy. He's stoked. He knows that he just earned iNTACT the map point, which a couple rounds ago had certainly looked like the match points were going to go in the other favor here. But iNTACT finds himself on 15-14. There is a full buy coming out from TwistedSin. They do have full utility and full AKs. No AWP though. And the the iNTACT side rather, is also not lacking in very much except maybe a couple grenades.
It's such an important round here for iNTACT, and maybe they don't know that TwistedSin has the full buy. The story isn't over yet. There's still a full round to win. Plus we're going to overtime. And AWOL trying to get the nice spray here into the drop room. iNTACT not really playing that position. They haven't tried for many aggressive boosts. They haven't really tried for many aggressive peeks so far at all, unless it's late in the round, as we saw VicX last round. Great peek toward long. And now, back toward all of the players. Defensive positions on iNTACT eSports. 3 toward the A site. They have a good read as to where the bomb is going. 1 player actually moving over toward the B. And now, It might come down to timing by Twisted. If they move in as players have rotated off, they might be able to get the execution here.
And I was looking at Kai to see if he's on B plat, but he's not even peeking it. So somehow iNTACT smart enough to have 3 players towards this A side as the execute comes in.
Imperious at the Juliet. Charybdis finds Skull on site. Vikex able to take 1 down before he's, or actually 2, excuse me. He isn't the one traded, but Will finally does make the trade, and now we have the 2v3 advantage to TwistedSin, but Will only left on 4 HP. Kai coming in with the AK and Enfo on the AWP. Kai, nice headshot by him. Enfo, 1 more through the B doors, and now only 1 left on the B platform. They know where he's at. Nice shot by Enfo. That's going to close out the game. And wow, we have a 16-14 score line to close out. Nice troll kill by Enfo here at the end. He wants the kill. He says, man, I got the last kill. It's my defuse. It's time to move on, baby. We're going on in DreamHack Open Denver 2017. Let's go.
Enfo with the BM kill with the AWP.
I really liked it, man. I really loved it.
I can't follow up that hype moment. That was fantastic. I was just sitting there listening, and I'm just a little bit in shock here. But Enfo hopping his way around the server says to his other counter-terrorist friend that, nope, this is my turf, this is my defuse, this is my match. I killed 2 of these players in a 2v3 retake scenario. That was actually fantastic. Let's get out of the server here. Maybe talk about some of the things we saw from iNTACT.
Yeah, do a quick little run here, and then we might actually be coming back for another game. I don't think we were planning on it, actually, but now we are. Not because we expected them to lose, but we didn't know if we were actually going to be able to get multiple games, or if they were going to do more tomorrow, or where we were going to be. So I think we actually have another one. We're going to confirm that right in here in just a second. But let's talk a little bit about the map. Let's talk about the initial terrorist control from iNTACT.
Yeah, so we saw them obviously winning the pistol round, which is great, and not getting eco'd, and then developing a default style. And they had this, very early on, had this crucial round that we talked about where they were able to rotate very late towards the A bomb site, completely catching the CTs off guard, winning the round in fantastic fashion, getting the bomb down at 6 seconds left in the round. Just perfect timing, flawless execution. And I think that really shook TwistedSin for the rest of the half. As you saw, they never quite knew whether iNTACT was going to Navi style, 2016 Navi style execute on them with 20 seconds left on a bomb site, or whether the pressure was going to come quick. And that allowed iNTACT to take a couple quick rounds towards the B area and really get out of the broken wall with very little utility coming out from the counter-terrorists to defend themselves. So
yeah, the pace switch up was incredible. We saw lots of late executes, lots of early executes. But to Twisted's credit, they had a great T side themselves with a lot of the same pace switches that we saw from iNTACT. But iNTACT figuring out a couple of key things to shut down their default there in the last few rounds of counter-terrors. What do you think it was that they switched up? What was the major thing that they switched up that really got them in those last few counter-terrorist rounds to be able to pull out those key few kills, few extra things you might do in order to pull those rounds out?
Just a well-timed flank from Kai with the 2K and the deagle. Like, honestly, that's basically the match right there, because that prevented them from facing a match point. And instead of facing a match point, certainly on an eco round where they don't even buy armor and they have scouts and pistols, takes you from I believe it was like a 3v4 to a 3v2 just instantly. Picks up a gun, they're able to win the round, and that's just a 100% momentum shift. And I imagine those are the types of rounds, if you're a Twisted player, that you may actually end up tilting off of as well. I know I would. I've IGL'd a couple times in open teams, and if your team loses to an eco like that, especially when the game is in the bag, it's like the most tilting thing in the universe. So.
Yeah, and they had to have felt like they really had control of that game and that they really were going to take it, just 2 more rounds. That's what they probably kept saying to one another.
They won almost every single round on the T side.
And so how could you not expect to take that? And so the thing is, the momentum shift from iNTACT was phenomenal. I thought that they really kept their heads in the game and were able to really pull out a great victory here. Mm-hmm. And I think that let's find out if we're going to cast the next game, take a little break. I need to pee like a racehorse, to be honest with you. So let's do that, and maybe we'll get back to you guys here in just a couple minutes with the next match.
All right. Thanks, guys. Transfer.